Hi everyone, welcome back to another interesting episode. Today we'll move a little away from our basic investing theory based on fundamentals, and we will look at a very interesting swing trading opportunity that we may have. As a part of my day-to-day activity, I keep a track of all stocks which are hitting 52-week lows on the stock market, and Kotak Mahindra Bank very surprisingly made that list in the last few days. I've been tracking it for the past 2 weeks, and today, when the stock fell because of resignation of its joint MD, it really became a very interesting swing trading opportunity. It's a large cap stock, it's a blue chip, it's a well run stock, and still hitting 52-week lows. So I started looking at it, how it performed. Now Kotak Mahindra Bank in the past 5 years, from 2019 till 2024, has really underperformed. Not only the markets, but also its peers. If you look at the numbers, in this period of the last 5 years, it has given a return of about 11.3%. Compare it to an ICICI, which has gone up by 183% during the same period. An SBI, which has gone up by 168% during the same period. Even an Axis Bank has gone up by 51% during the same period. So if you were an investor in Kotak Mahindra Bank in 2019 and your basic philosophy is buy and hold, you have lost money in the last 5 years. It has not even beaten inflation. It has vastly underperformed the markets, the indices and the rest of its peers. And it was not a good investment for the past 5 years. What happened before that is a different story, but for the past 5 years, it has been absolute underperformer. When I was looking at it more fundamentally, everyone has spoken about Kotak Mahindra Bank. It is followed by all the analysts. Some say it's overpriced, some say it's underpriced. I will not get into that. What I will get into is a very specific pattern which I observed in the bank share prices over the past 3.5 years. Now this pattern is just looking at the price movement and recognizing it. There is no technical analysis behind it. It's just an observation which I have. And basis that observation, it appears as if Kotak Mahindra Bank is right now in a fantastic investment from a perspective of a short-term swing trading. So what is the pattern? Let's get into it. We will consider only prices post-COVID because that movement in stock was unnatural. So post-COVID, since 2021, if we see, Kotak Mahindra Bank has demonstrated a very clear pattern of first falling and then rising. There is a zigzag pattern which it is clearly demonstrated. Post-recovery from COVID and making its post-COVID high, between Jan 21 and July 30, it fell down by an amount of 17%. And between July 30 and October 22, which is a space of 3 months, it went up by 31%. Then it fell again by an amount of 20% between October 22 and December 24. And then immediately it recovered by about 12.5-13%. Then it fell again by 14% between May and July. Then it recovered again by 15%. Next fall was 14% and the recovery was 15.8%. Next was another fall of 14% and a recovery of 12%. So we have seen 5 such falls and 5 such recoveries in a span of 3 years. So essentially, had we followed the swing trading pattern and invested, the potential upside which we would have had was close to about 80% when the absolute return of a buy and hold strategy is 11%. So what convinced me that today it presents a very good swing trading opportunity? Between December of 23 and now, which is a period of 5 months, Kotak Mahindra Bank has fallen by a 17.3 percentage point. If we go back, the largest decline was 17% and then 20%. So it is very close to repeating the pattern. It has already declined by 17-18%, and we can easily expect if the pattern continues to repeat itself, which we believe it will, then we can continue to expect another return, it going up by anywhere between 12 and 15% within the next quarter or so. One might argue that a 15% return in a quarter is really not a great return. Well, if we compare it with the indices, if we compare it with the inflation numbers, it's a good return within a quarter. Annualized, it turns out about 60%. But what I will do to amplify these returns is to buy these shares under the MTF facility, which is the pay later facility offered by the broker, in which I will end up paying 25% of the purchase amount as my contribution. 75% will be a debt provided by the broker at 10% per annum. If my thesis works out, then what will happen is, for a 1 lakh share purchase, I will pay 25,000 from my pocket and borrow 75,000. The 1 lakh at a 12% return or a 15% return will give me an upside of 15,000 rupees in a span of 3 months. The interest on 75,000 which I will borrow in the same span of 3 months will be about 2,000 rupees. So that will still leave me with a net return of 14,000 rupees in a span of 3 months. Now, the capital I have employed is 25,000 only. Rest is borrowed. So a return of 13,000 on a capital employed of 25,000, and that too within a span of 3 to 4 months, is a fantastic ROCE. Now that is how I am planning to amplify my returns. Few quick disclaimers. It's a pattern which I hope will repeat. It may not. Markets have a funny way of deciding their own movements. It's a risky strategy. I wouldn't want you to take this strategy unless you're sure of it. Again, this is not an investment advice. This is what I am going to do. And of course, you as an investor, please do your own due diligence before making any such decisions. This is my swings trading strategy for Kotak Mahindra Bank for the next 3 months. At the end of 3 months, we will come back with a report on whether this worked, this did not work, what happened to it, and we'll come up with an update. And if it works, well and good, then we have seen a pattern and recognized a pattern successfully. If it does not work, we'll try and learn what mistakes we made, what additional research we should have done before taking this call. So with this, we will end this video, and until the next video, very, very happy investing.